your own pumpkins, I want to show you 3 different kinds or styles or sizes of pumpkins. So the first pumpkin I have is more of like an oval shape or oblong pumpkin. All right. The second one I have is more of a rounder shaped pumpkin. And lastly, my third one is a little bit oblong, and it's not going to fit on the rest of my camera here, but it's more of an oval shape that goes from left to right on your paper. So I am actually going to pick more of an oblong pumpkin like this one for my drawing. And remember, you can use any size pumpkin that you want to. So the materials you're going to need is, of course, a piece of paper, and I'm going to use a black crayon. You can use a black marker if you would like to, or a Sharpie. So you want to kind of have your pumpkin take up majority of your room, so think big, don't think little pumpkin. I want bigger pumpkins. So I'm going to start kind of at the top here. I'm going to start at the top, and I'm going to come down. Now it's okay if your pumpkin is not perfect, because pumpkins are organic shapes, and it's okay if it looks a little funny. Alright, so see here that my one side is a little longer than the other side? That's okay. Pumpkins are organic, they're not perfect. So I'm just going to go over my black line so it's a little darker. And next we are going to make curved lines, because pumpkins have these little lines that separate little sections. And I'll show you on one of these pictures what I'm talking about. So if we take a look at this pumpkin here, this pumpkin picture, pumpkins usually have lines, right? They kind of have these ridges on them. So what we're going to do is we're going to draw a curved line kind of towards the right of our paper, about maybe there. And you're just going to follow your edge of your pumpkin, and you're going to be a curved line coming down. The second one I'm going to do is another curved line coming down. And this time I'm going to go the other way on my curved line. And lastly, the same one, same way, direction. Alright, so it's going towards the left. Now I'm going to add a stem. And remember, you can pause and start this video at any time. So if you need to catch up, feel free to pause. So I'm going to make a little curved line here. And I'm going to make another curved line, but I'm going to start curve, and I'm going to follow my pumpkin line from my top, the stem. And I'm going to draw a circle or oval to connect the 2 lines together. Alright, so if you want to go back and make your pumpkin a little darker with your lines, feel free. Now, if we remember, Yayoi's pumpkins had dots on them. So what I want you guys to do at home or at school is to create dots in your different pumpkins here, in these different sections. So I am going to start with big dots. I'm going to start right in the middle. So I'm going to do big dots here, and I'm just going to color them in. And I want you to do 3 different size dots. So small dots, medium sized dots, and big dots. Alright, I'm going to put dots on the other side. Then I'm going to put oh, I forgot my little dots. So I do little dots. Alright, so there's little dots. I'm going to put medium dots on my next one. And if you're using crayons or markers and your hand's starting to hurt, it's okay. You can take a break, drop your marker, crayon, stretch out your hand a little bit. You might get tired from pressing so hard. I know mine is. Alright, so I'm going to add some bigger dots on this one. Oh, and then for your stem, I'm going to add some itty bitty little dots. And I'm just going to follow the shape of my pumpkin stem here. And you can too. You can also draw lines on yours if you want to. I'm just going to draw dots. You know what? I'm going to do both. So I'm going to kind of draw a line in between my dots really carefully, so I can stay inside between those dots. Uh-oh, let's see how I do. All right, not bad. And I'm going to color in the inside of my stem there. All right, so there's my finished pumpkin. Now, what I want you to think about is your background. Now, I'm going to add these shapes into my background, okay? So you can draw a whole bunch of lines in your background if you want to. I'm going to draw like these squares in my background. I'm going to color them in, okay? So this might take a little time, and if you need a break, like I said, go take a break and then come back. So I'm going to add a square. I'm going to add another square next to it. So I'm just going to have these abstract shapes in my background, and I'm going to fill in my whole background with these shapes, okay? So when I come back, you'll see a finished background, and then we can start adding color. All right, so here's my finished pumpkin so far. I did all my background. I did kind of like these square shapes, kind of like a brick wall. Remember, you can do anything in your background you want to. You can do shapes, patterns, lines, texture. You can even do some leaf rubbings behind your pumpkin. That would look really cool too. And now I'm thinking I wish I did that. But before we add color in our background, I want us to look at the color wheel for a second. And I have my color wheel right here, if you can see. So I want you guys to pick 2 colors. Now, here's the challenge. These 2 colors have to be across from each other on the color wheel, okay? And they are called complementary colors. So they kind of sit, if we were sitting at a dining room table or out to eat somewhere, they would be sitting across the table from you. So the first colors we have are, at the top, I'm going to start at the top, we got yellow, and we have purple that are sitting next from across, or they're sitting across from each other. All right, so we got yellow and purple as a set. Next, we have green and we have red that are sitting across from each other. And lastly, we have orange and blue sitting across from each other. Now I'll tell you a little tip. If you would mix any of these 2 colors together, they would create brown. So that's how we get brown. So when you color your pumpkin, I want you to pick these 2 colors, okay? You're either gonna pick yellow or blue. Oh, I'm sorry, orange or blue. You're either gonna pick red or green. And lastly, you're gonna pick yellow or purple. So I'm actually gonna pick yellow and purple for my 2 colors. So I'm gonna set these aside. I'm gonna move over my color wheel. I'm gonna get my picture back. So I might decide to make my pumpkin maybe a purple pumpkin or a yellow pumpkin, or I might create my background yellow or purple. So I might actually create a purple pumpkin. So you don't usually see a purple pumpkin, right? So I'm actually going to use watercolors. I have my school watercolors right here, and you are welcome to use crayons at home, watercolors, or markers. So if you could have markers, I highly suggest markers with crayons, because then they are not going to stick to your crayons. And I am simply going to take my purple watercolor, and I am just going to paint in my pumpkin the best I can. I need some more purple here. All right, so I'm gonna quickly paint this in, try my best to stay inside these lines. This brush isn't really the best today, but I'm making do with what I have, and I want you guys at home to do the best you can with what you have. All right, so if we were at school, we might have done this on construction paper, and we might have used our texture sheets to create a background that was really cool, right? But we're not at school this time. We're at home, or we're in our classroom, and we're creating art the best that we can. And that's all I want you guys to try to do, is do the best you can with what you got. And you never know what you'll create. So there is my purple pumpkin. I went outside the line a little bit, but that's okay. I'm not gonna let it bother me, because I'm just gonna paint right over it with yellow. So I should really let this dry, right, before I add yellow, because I might get some browns, but I'm not. I'm just gonna go straight in with yellow, And my yellow looks a little dirty. So I'm going to try to clean it off the best I can. And I'm going to start painting on the outside just to let my pumpkin dry a little bit. And as you notice, I am painting right over my crowns that I made earlier. And if you know why, and you can kind of see the texture, the bubbles, the paint's not sticking to the crowns. And that's called a wax resist. So you can create some really cool things with texture, and then grab some watercolors and go over top of your crowns, and that texture will stay. And it's not gonna go anywhere, it's gonna stay there. Alright, so these look kind of really cool and funky. So, our artist Yayoi used dots, and she was really famous for her paintings of pumpkins. And she had put dots on everything. So, and she used bright colors. She was a funky pop artist. And she's still creating artwork. Alrighty, so there is my finished pumpkin painting. I can't wait to see what you come up with, so please share them with me. My email's at the end, so have fun creating your pumpkins, and I can't wait to see them.